And when Roger Windsor approached me first, I said, yes, I don't think you're an MI5 agent, but let me go away and think about the case. I did some reading on it. I read Seamus Mill's excellent book about the miners' strike. I came to the conclusion that Windsor was in fact an asset of MI6, that he'd gone to Libya and hung Colonel Gaddafi because that was what MI6 wanted him to do, and wanted him to undermine the support of the miners at a crucial stage. So I phoned him up and said to him, in fact he phoned me up and said, you're prepared to go on the record, support me, not being an MI5 officer. And I said, yes, but I want to ask you would answer a few questions. First about your MI6 role. At that point he started stuttering. I kept putting questions to him about his role for MI6 and he refused to answer. And since then has refused to return my calls or my emails. We therefore use that in the book to say that that's obviously not confirmation, but certainly ties in with other information that we believe indicates he was working for MI6, not MI5. The Wilson plot, I was told in MI5 that they weren't involved in it. And I was inclined for a while to believe them. I have an open mind about it. I don't know one way or the other. I can't say, hand on heart, I saw anything in the service to indicate that MI5 was involved. But I maintain an open mind to this one. I'm prepared to look at information and look at it in the light of my knowledge of having worked for the services. And in the book we also mention, in a chapter entitled The Enemy Within ? About communists and Trotskyists and anarchists who are monitored by MI5, we come to the conclusion at the end of that chapter that the real enemy within are the secret state and their unaccountability, their lack of adherence to the laws of our land, the rule of law itself. We're accusing them of being the enemies of democracy, not miners struggling for their communities and their jobs, not political groups simply trying to get their points across. I've spent the last 8 years being hounded by the state. I've been thrown in prison twice. I think I've even been subject to an assassination operation. I am now blacklisted. I can't get articles published. I can't get on the television, even though we have a book out making some of the most serious allegations you could make against the secret state. So I don't think, if you look at the facts, anybody with half a mind could really think that I'm really working for MI5. And I have to say, we have to focus, as I was saying earlier on the real victims of the services. The 2 innocent Palestinians still in prison, people who died as a result of MI6 funding terrorist activity in Libya. I've always answered questions asked of me, and I'm doing tonight. I have never had anything to hide, and I will gladly answer any question. And I would hope that we can all get together, because now it is more important to do this than ever. I used to say our civil liberties were being gradually eroded. Now it's an avalanche. And Blair doesn't give a fuck, does he? He suddenly woke up in general election and realised that when he knocked on doors that the war was important, that our liberties were important to the electorate. But that hasn't changed his tune. He's still carrying on in the same way he is. So I suggest that rather than squabbling with each other, we unite and stand up for our rights. Thank you.
Now we're going to have a break for 15 minutes. Each people who ask those questions, they feel that's okay to receive the answer.
Yeah, just like to add, Paul Marshall Passwell. David, an apology to you. I think you did write in punch that Passwell was trying to put it down. My dreadlocks have fallen out and I've left the dogs on string at home, so I do apologise if they're not quite as your prejudices.
Yeah, sorry, I mean, I was writing a humorous article and sort of playing on stereotypes, which is really unforgiving. I'm sorry. The comment I wanted to make was that, in a neat way, was that the transport poses more threats to health and public order, national security as a joke, just to make the point, of course, that what you were doing was legitimate and within your rights of being a democracy. Some of the other questions here. Why am I not willing to name Andy Bryant? The Official Secrets Act means that I can get in prison for 2 years if I was to confirm that Andy Bryant was an MI5 agent, so I'm not in a position to be able to do that. The second informer may not tally with your knowledge of class war because he was a kind of general all-purpose anarchist. He was recruited long before I joined the service. The information he gave was extremely low level. I was always very sceptical about it because he appeared to be saying it simply to get looked after by MI5, should we say, to line his own pockets. And so, I'm not surprised you can't identify him because he may not have had any access to class war at all. It may have just been trying to create his own myth in MI5. I mean, I had nothing. I mean, obviously, when the agent was presented to me, I made sure that MI5 ceased to have any relationship with it whatsoever, because I didn't believe in providing any decent intelligence.
That may be true, David, but you said that class war collapsed, or came close to collapsing, when this agent was pulled out.
That's what I remember, yes, sir.
Could it just be coincidence?
Yeah, it might be coincidence, I don't know. When the agent was pulled out in 1992, class war split up, if my memory serves correctly, into the Class War Federation and Class War something else, a current organisation, with massive division. And he always claimed, of course, this agent, that he'd been the driving force behind class war. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's certainly what he was telling us.
Yeah, just briefly about the class war thing. I hope people will have noticed that when David first referred to the class war thing in this debate, he said, this person told us he was running class war, which is why we put it in the book. Now, given that you've now gone on to say that this person may be making it up and he didn't necessarily have any relationship to class war, this surely calls into question a lot of the information in your book. Because if MI5 is so naive as just to believe an agent who presumably paid them money because they say they're doing something, is what you asked us to believe, then why should we take it seriously? And you haven't responded to the one that Tony Gosling claims that you told him that the state was propping up class war, and he's been going around saying that on the internet continuously. And in fact, when Paul asked you about whether you're running class war or not, he was like, just constantly saying, oh, I don't know what. I was expected to just come up with the phrase, I was only doing my job. And he still hadn't answered the question. If this Metropolitan Police officer was beating up police in conjunction with other class war members, it was useful for them to know the name so they can launch prosecutions. If it's good enough to name MI6 agents, it's good enough to name agents inside domestic police groups.
Well, I've never named MI6 agents at all.
Well,
So,
yeah, that stuff got on the internet just because of that vision.
I can't name agents because, as I say, I'm going to go to prison again. I'm not going to stay there for a third time. Stand up for my beliefs. Tony Gosling. What can I say? I've had a conversation with Tony Gosling. I haven't seen the details of the actual articles he's written, but if my experience is that gay white people do tend to exaggerate what I say. One of the reasons I was saying that class war was propped up, possibly by MI5 or by the special branch agent, was because it did disintegrate afterwards. It split up and and it didn't seem to quite have the same cohesion that it had before that. I don't think any of this falls into credibility in anything I'm saying. The way these things are written in the book, I stand by it. As I was saying, I'm prepared to listen to other opinions, and if this guy took money from the class war, I'm prepared to put that in the book, because that's theft, and you should be reporting him to the police. I can't name agents, I'm not going to prison again. Yeah, I was driving home in my car in the summer 2002, shortly before my trial. On a few occasions I've actually been in the car by myself, not with my girlfriend Annie. When we bought our second-hand car, we checked all the tyres on it. About 2 months later, one of my friends pointed to one of the tyres, which had become suspiciously bald in just one spot. Nowhere else on the other 4 tyres, just on this one tyre, they've actually tread actually gone through. And it looked like somebody had actually done this with a chisel or something. So we got the tyres changed, got them all checked. About 7 days after that, I was driving on M25 to say I was not in the car. A white unmarked van began to overtake me inside. I looked across. The next thing I heard a bang. My car was slewing off the road. I unfortunately managed to get across the carriageways and onto the hard shoulder.